Hi, this is Hector, and we're going to have fun drawing people. So let's start off by first tapping on the wrench icon and making sure that we get our drawing assist turned on. So under Canvas, Drawing Guide, turn it on, Edit Drawing Guide, tap that once, tap on Symmetry, which is right here, and tap on Done. As far as color, I'm going to go to well, something about middle grays sounds good to me. Middle gray. And then brush is going to be sketching, 6B pencil. Size is 100%. And the opacity is also 100%. Because we turned on the drawing guide, you see this line right here. So that means that anything that we draw on this side, it's going to show on that side too. Oh, as far as the canvas, it is a 8" by 8" at 300 dpi. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I usually start off with the shape of the top of the head, which is, let's go with a circle, something like this. And then like about right here, depends on the shape of the head. You can make it go very angular, like this, or you can make it kind of boxy, kind of like this. So I'm going to go angular. Since I'm using a 6B pencil, when I erase, I want it to be a 6B pencil too, because that's going to help with shaping the shape. So the way I do that is, as long as the brush is activated, just tap and hold for a sec. And now up at the top, it said erase with current brush. So if I tap here, it's a 6B pencil because I'm using a 6B pencil. So back to eraser. I'm just going to remove some of this right here. No, maybe something like this, and no, this side over here too. So now let's do the eyes. So I have this line right here, and basically maybe from right here to right here, I'm just going to make a connection like that, and then I'm going to make another connection there. So, but this time I'm going to do it very carefully. So maybe something like this, and maybe something like that. So let's go with that. And as far as the nose, it's going to be pretty close, maybe right here. And it's going to be just a little divot there and little nostrils right there. Okay, happy with that. Next thing is going to be the ears. So in the ears, I can go, I'm going to have long hair going like this. So I'm probably not going to really be too careful about the ears, but between right here, the top of the eyes, to probably about where the lips are, is where I'm going to have my ears. So let's do something like this. And then now I'm going to work on the mouth. And so it's basically an arch. And I'm going to bring it back down and make a line here and then have it like that. And I'll go ahead and color it in like this. This serves real nicely as a cheekbone, so I'm just going to kind of leave that there for now. Go back to my eraser, and I'm going to form out my ears a little bit. Kind of remove that there. Don't need that. And I don't need these guides anymore, so I'm just going to remove some of this stuff. Maybe something like this. Now I'm going to tilt my pencil. When I do that, it becomes more of a shading type of technique. So I'm erasing some of it, but not all of it. Let's do that. Okay. And so the next thing I'm going to do is going to go to the top, go with some eyebrows. So the way I like doing those is go to layers and tap on layer 1. When layer assist is turned on to the layer, you'll see a little label there, assisted. But when you turn it off, like that. It's no longer there. So now we get to draw. Now we get to draw an individual eyebrow. So one for here and another one for here. And we can take our time to form them so it makes sense for us. And let's go with something like this. Let's get the eraser and let's just remove some of these guides. Don't need that. And I think what I'm going to do before I do anything else, I'm just going to finish up the eyes, at least for the, the eyelashes. There, there. And this one like there. And there. And let's do a little shading right here. So I'm tilting the pencil, kind of like this. And that's giving me this pattern shape here. Like that. And a little here too. Okay. Oops. Okay, and then maybe just a little something here. Just a little curl. Like that. Just move up just a little bit and a little bit right here. Now, as for the eyes, this is what I like to do. Go to layers, tap on the plus sign. And if you want to, you can just tap it one more time and turn on drawing assist, because now it's assisted. And start drawing in the eyes like this. Now, maybe you want the eyes looking like this. Maybe you don't. If you don't, just tap on the arrow, tap on uniform, and you can move these just about anywhere. So let's go with maybe that. So let's finish up some shading. So in order to do this, we can do this for a second, which is basically establishing the cheekbones and establishing the forehead, maybe something like that. And then once we have that, then we go back to layers and we can tap on, let me just pinch these together like that. And now everything's together. Drawing assist is not turned on. So now if our light source is up here, that means this is going to be lighter and this is going to be darker, right? So let's go ahead and start with the dark part, which is here. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of pressure as I'm just shading in. And every time I do a pass, it gets a little darker. So if this is something that I want to, have stand out, then a very light pass. And if I want to stand out just a little more, then I can just do another very light pass like this. And I can do the same thing over here. And because this side is lighter, it'll be a lighter pass. But there we go. And maybe something there. Now, the one thing I want you to remember is that this line, this guide right here, that it's pretty much muted because Drawing Assist is not turned on. So it's actually kind of cool that it's there, because then we can kind of look at it and say, well, it's kind of cool that it's there because it's a guide. So there's that. And then now we're going to do is probably put in some hair. So how do we want to do this? Okay, so now we're going to do the hair. Now, the way I like to do it is once again, I go to layers and tap on the plus sign, and it gives me layer 2. And so at 100% size and 100% opacity, and I'm using a 6B pencil, all I'm going to do is just kind of make some really, how do we say this? All I'm going to do is apply a lot of pressure when I just drop in some strands of hair, something like this. And then I'm just going to just color it in just a little bit, like this. And make sure I get that side too. I'm just going to just do this, easier for me. And just like the shading on this side, I'm going to add a little bit of more pressure in some parts of it. And in other parts, I'm just going to just ignore it. But just add just a little bit of pressure, like that. And a little here too. Now, there's a trick to getting like the most contrast you could possibly get. So I'm going to show you how to do that one too. And just maybe a little like that. And I just, some more shading in here. Like that. And so I'm just getting the eraser, and now I'm just shaping some of this hair. Like that. Next, I'm going to go in and just change my colors. I'm going to go a little darker, maybe something like this. And this is the part where I'm going to accentuate the contrast. So you can probably hear my pencil just kind of just tapping on that screen, because I'm adding a lot of pressure on some of this stuff. And so on this side, I'm going to tilt my pencil just a little bit, just so I can start painting in a little darker areas, but with that 6B pencil grain. Something like this. Eraser, and just going to shape that out a little bit. Kind of like that. And I'm going to go in just a little bit more in this area. So I'm going to reduce the size to 44%. Just add just more contrast. Like this. And you can kind of see how it's already starting to get like a little bit of that, well, I'll say realistic because it's not really realistic, but it's kind of getting in there. It's just definitely, you can see the defining lines between contrast and a little bit of the highlight. So a little bit more on the lips, like that. And probably going to add just a little bit of a tilt and a lot of pressure just to make it nice and dark, like this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just pinch layer 1, layer 2 together. Go back to eraser and just start removing some of the excess. Like this. Going to go back to that gray color and just do a little bit of the neck like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and just turn on Drawing Assist like this. And I'm kind of good here. Just going to just add just a little bit of color. Like that. Okay, just turn off Drawing Assist. And just go back to that dark. It's not really 100% black, but it's just add just a little bit right in here. Like that. Get some color, little white, and just add some specular highlights somewhere around here, this side, and on this side too. Get a little lighter gray. Not much, just a little bit. There we go. A little more. Go back to that white, pure white. There, and there. So anyway, there we go. And I think what I'm going to do is go back to Canvas, turn off Drawing Guide. We're good there. And then just going to go to Eraser and just bring down the shoulders just a little bit. So, what do you think? If you like this, please like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for hanging out. Gotta go.